Let's go into the ABCs of water safety in more detail. A is for the adult supervision. Would you say this is the best way to prevent a drowning or near drowning incident?
Absolutely. Nothing's going to replace adult supervision. Nothing is going to replace that responsible adult keeping an eye on their children around water. It is our job that when our children are in a pool or in a tub to keep our eye on them. When you have that adult supervision, you constantly know what's going on. When you're going to take your children out to the pool, always make sure that you maintain eye contact with them and always be within arm's reach. As a father, I always like to interact with my children, so I know that I'm always keeping my eye on them. Sometimes parents want to take a book out to the pool, or they look on their phone, and anything like that can get you distracted to where you're not fully watching your child. So you always want to maintain that adult supervision.
You know, even the most diligent parents and caregivers can get distracted, especially at a party or a gathering. How can we protect our children in those kinds of situations?
Pool parties can be some of the most dangerous situations because sometimes we can get lax as adults, always thinking that our children are being watched, that somebody's always watching them, and rarely do adults communicate on whose job it's to actually watch their child. So we always encourage everybody to keep an eye on their child. If that's not the case, or you need to go do something, Glendale Fire Department recommends that there's a designated water watcher out there, somebody who knows that it's their job to keep an eye on the children. And it could be done by not only communicating, hey, you're going to be the water watcher, but have a special bracelet or maybe a hat or a whistle, even at your family pool party, so that person knows that they are the water watcher for the kids.
Now, there's other dangers around the home in addition to swimming pools. Can you tell us about some of those?
Yes, there's all sorts of dangers within a home, whether it's a sink, a toilet, a bathtub, even a 5-gallon bucket that has been left upright and collected rainwater during our monsoon season. Those can all be water hazards and can all be dangerous to children. Unfortunately, recently in the city of Glendale, we did have a 6-month-old that died after being left in a tub that was a result of a drowning.
Yes, it's so sad. I remember reading about that. It's just so sad. Next is B for barriers. Can you tell us first what is required by the city code? Then give us your other recommendations on how to keep little ones from getting into the pool.
Well, the city code for the city of Glendale is to have a pool fence that's at least 5 feet high, and the openings of the fence to not be wider than 4 inches. And then we also want a self-latching, self-closing gate on that fence. So even if it's left open or somebody props it open, it immediately closes and latches shut so that a child cannot gain access to the pool. Other barriers that there are is that there are self-latching, self-closing Arcadia doors. So as soon as you open the door, once you let go, it does shut and does latch, and the lock on it is up higher so that a child cannot reach that. There's also pool nets that you can buy that go over your pool. You tighten them, you lock them, and so even if a child was to fall on top of that net, they wouldn't fall into the water. There's different alarms you can buy that could notify you if somebody did gain access into your pool. So those are the things that we talk about when we mention B for barriers.
Now let's talk about the classes that they provided to our citizens. You mentioned CPR, which would be traditional CPR with hands and vests for possible drownings. Is that right?
Yes, sir. We always encourage everybody to learn traditional CPR, the chest compressions and the mouth-to-mouth breathing. Classic 2 breaths, 30 compressions ratio. When we drown, or if a child drowns, they need air. When we teach a class, we always let everybody know, obviously, air goes in and out and blood goes round and round, and CPR does that for somebody, adult or a child that's not able to do that on their own. The city of Glendale, the Glendale Fire Department also mentions hands-only CPR. We encourage everybody to learn that, but that is not the recommended rescue technique to use if somebody was drowning. You don't want to use hands-only CPR in a drowning case, but we always encourage everybody to at least learn some form of CPR so they can help in any situation.